Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. After so much drama with the Sentinels team this week, Gen.G just gets there in time to take down 100T in a pretty emphatic series result. Lots of important matches though going on around the world, but Zellsis, also known as Sen Bundle, airing out his frustrations with the way that Riot Games, their technical department, operated during that Sentinels series last night. Lots of audio concerns that Sentinels, despite arguably deserving respect as the champions of Madrid and the best team in the world right now as it stands, not getting the respect that they arguably deserved from the way these decisions were made. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. We have to dive straight into the matches around the world today. Firstly, this is Ye having, well, he honestly played pretty well. And I think there were glimpses in this series of the Ye of old, as it were. The unfortunate thing for Ye is that, well, his teammates didn't really deliver, as we see here, a fantastic performance here by Rettler on the Icebox, where they played Talent, it goes to a game 3, and Rettler's highlights were as follows, where we see 2 frags from him in the kill feed, nothing from his POV, and then bang, 2 kills for the game. And unfortunately for Ye, this is his rather ugly VLR page in his match history. It ain't looking great, of course. His stint on DSG was nothing short of tragic. And then Bleed, so far, they've lost every series that they have played with Ye as well. The last series that Ye actually won was with Cloud9, like a very long time ago now. So it's tough for Ye, but it feels like he may be getting somewhere. Unfortunately, Bleed have a lot of work to do. This, by the way, is the Chinese region as it stands so far, just to kind of share how the respective leagues are looking, because, you know, everyone has now played in the Chinese region. Yesterday, we saw Nova go down to TE and FBX take down Wolves, actually, to get to 1-0. Of course, they were at Masters Madrid alongside Edward Gaming. This, though, was the Bleed Talon series. So, yeah, he played pretty well here on the Rays. He did use the Jet on the Icebox. Now, I still would like to see a world in which they just put him back on the Chamber, to be honest, because I think the Chamber is viable enough that Ye can run him. But on the Binds, they also lost this one. Just some interesting coaching-related decisions here. Obviously, Zest is now in Bleed as well. They've got an interesting team. They put together some strange compositions, I'm not going to lie, as well. And there is maybe something to say on that, because Gecko's getting used everywhere now. Rettler has a really hard time here, and Talon are a solid team, sure. But I'm sure there's frustrations that they weren't able to, you know, with Scary and Ye and the team that they have, they should potentially be better than they are, this Bleed roster. But yeah, tough series there for Rettler, not good for Zest either. And Bleed start of the season, not in the way they would like to continue. T1 though versus PaperX that also went down. This was more comfortable, I would say. Wasn't exactly dominant, but it was 13-10 and then 14-12 on the bind to on PaperX's pick. So we know that T1 are very good. They're not quite good enough though as it stands. You've got Gen.G, you've got PaperX, you've got DRX, and then T1 are there or thereabouts as well. So tough series for Easy, all things considered, but also Jing's back, baby. And here he is, you know, not quite the highest ACS in the lobby. That actually goes to Forsaken, but you guys know how the VLR ratings work, which means that somehow Forsaken looked like he had a very mid-of-the-pack series. But Jing on the Rays, we know what this guy does, and it's just great to see him back in business, to be honest, as well, playing with these guys. If you guys didn't see the update from the other day, that Jing is now exempt from his duty in the military in Singapore, and therefore he can play again full-time. So that is a nice little buff there to PaperX, and actually a very impressive buff, I would say, and that puts them back to being seriously scary contenders in the world of Valorant. But DRX, PaperX, Zeta are all 1-0, as with Talon Esports, and it's interesting actually to see the parallels here, because in Group A, Gen.G, they've not played yet. They play very shortly, actually, against Talon. But everyone else in Group A has lost, whereas everyone else in Group Omega has won. And even today, the matchup that's going on between RRQ and Team Secret, it is now 1-1, and it's going into a crazy overtime. But if RRQ were to win this one against Secret, if they somehow did manage to win the series, then, you know, they would also move to 1-0. But there's also Detonation over here, which I'm not sure I would be so confident in, but I guess they play Global Esports. So we'll see, but it's interesting just to notice that the groups are, in this region and in the Americas, relatively one-sided in terms of which group seems stronger for now. Let's talk though about Sentinels and what happened last night. Got to share this as well for you guys. This is pretty crazy that Tens told Zellsis that if he wins the event, then he'll buy him a Rolex. And this was actually seen yesterday, so April the 1st, when Tens bought Zellsis the Rolex. Now, this watch is a beautiful piece, obviously, And as we can see in a second, we can have a look at what this watch actually is. So this is for his services to Sentinels, for the Send bundle and everything. This watch to me looks like it's a GMT Master. The question is this if you guys know watches a little bit about it, is it a Pepsi or is it a Coke, right? So the Pepsi is blue and red, and the Coke, which is, they don't make them anymore, but you can still get them obviously secondhand and stuff. Those are black at the top of the bezel and then red at the bottom, which seems to be what this is, and that would make sense to me just because Sentinel's colors are black and red, so it probably makes sense that this is, you know, what people call the Coke, which is the GMT Master 2 on the Oyster strap with the red and the black bezel. And also he got this engraved as well, Tens. Obviously really cool thing to do, right? So as it says on the back here, you know, Jordan Zellsis, VCT Masters Madrid winner, and it says the date and everything like this. So obviously what a cool moment for these guys, and this watch is probably worth, because people are obviously interested, I will say probably on the secondary market somewhere between 12 and 15 grand, something like that, probably US dollars. So maybe Tens' bank account won't notice it much, but I thought nonetheless a really cool thing to do, and honestly an absolutely beautiful watch. Now there's lots to say on that Sentinel series, of course. I'll share the clip in a second of discussions on the fact that Gen.G he flew out business class because Rob Moore decided, you know what, it's worth the extra money to pay for John to fly out business so he can sleep properly, so he can get the food that he needs, get rested, to arrive with, you know, with some absolute dominant force when he got to the server. And that is basically what ended up happening. Now G2, they finally showed, I would say, glimpses here, not even glimpses, basically the entire series of what they were doing when they were the guard. Like, this is what they would do to teams when they were called the guard, and ever since they've come a thing, they haven't really delivered this type of performance. But I mean, they crushed this series 13-8, 13-3 it was on the Icebox. This was ugly for Evil Geniuses. Apple had 2 frags here, despite the fact that EG, they made it through their group. Okay, they had to win 1 series to make it through their group, but they made it through their group, to be fair, at the kickoff. They then went down to Loud. They looked okay doing so. Icy, their new player instead of Net, he went negative, but it doesn't matter when you win this comfortably. So cool to see that G2 at least showing some degree of promise. But then we had the 100T series, the one that everyone was really looking forward to. This was so cold as well. I don't know if we've really seen another team do this after winning a trophy, walking out with the trophy. And sure, FNS is like, oh, they're living in the past, but this is pretty fire as far as I'm concerned. You know, parade the trophy around, honestly intimidate the other team as well, because they've got the trophy, we don't. So I'll share a couple of clips here, including what Zellsis had to say after the fact of their series.
This is 100
Thieves are your Masters Madrid champions. Make some noise for the Sentinels!
Let's go!
Jesus, Sentinels fans on top.
Oh my god. Oh my god!
Wait, we're bringing up the trophy?
And the trophy!
Wait, Zellsis is calling? He fucking scammed me. No, I'm kidding. Wait, we're bringing out the trophy? We are the fucking champs?
His arms are moving. His arms are moving.
Yeah,
no, they're not actually.
Wait, we're the champs?
Wait, we're living in the past?
Tyson's like, take the trophy. Take the trophy. I don't know what to do with it.
Just plop it down in the middle. Put extra pressure on 100 Thieves. Like, fuck, it's a trophy.
Every time they look over, they see the trophy.
It's like, fuck, it's a trophy.
Wait, this guy's
wow.
jersey says bundle? Are we fucked?
Oh my god.
Are we fucked? His jersey says bundle?
I just found out that fucking Rob dropped 5K on John's business class seat because he flew in yesterday, and he wanted to make sure that he was able to rest on the flight properly before the match day. So fucking W, Rob. He made an investment, and boy, it paid off. So yeah, 5K for a business class seat is nuts. And apparently Morocco to LA is 17 hours, and I don't know if they have direct, but that's just...
Also, to be fair, I'm gonna say this, and I don't give a if I get in trouble, bro. We get on stage, our entire audio is our game audio's our comm audio is we ask if so they're telling us to get off stage. I'll show it again. Shut up, just listen. We get on stage, then they're like, okay, we need to do walkouts. So then we go to, and we're like, wait, we need to fix our audio first, though. Like, we need to fix our audio. And then they were like, all right, you guys can fix it when we get back into game, right? We get back into game, they start the match. And we're like, yo, we need to fix our audio. We can't hear anything. And they're like, no, you just play with it. You just play with it and fix it as we go. So every round on defense, there's 1 or 2 people going, yo, can you increase this person by like 10%? Can you increase our game volume by like 10%? Can you? Yeah, we had no tech. And if you, I don't care if this gets out either. If you pause, they threaten you. They take away a timeout, or they warn you, or whatever. I'll say it. I'm actually pissed. If I get in trouble, I get in trouble.
This again raises big questions as to exactly what the referee is, and also what the technical team in general is doing, because if you're going to tell Sentinels, hey, yeah, we're going to get that sorted for you guys, don't worry about it, and then they are told when they come back to the game, all right, guys, yep, we're loading in, here we go. And you've got technical issues, you've got volume issues, you know, big distraction from the game. And Zellsis, understandably, is saying, yeah, what are you guys playing at? How could this not have been dealt with better? And it shouldn't matter what team is in question, but like especially, maybe not, it shouldn't even be especially, right? Because every team is deserving of the same courtesy. But even when it's Sentinels, right? The champions, the best team in the world, best team in the Americas right now, the winners eventually of the series, and the team with the biggest fan base, they're not even getting treated with this kind of respect, because sometimes it happens where the better teams, the bigger fan base teams, the teams where there'll be some backlash for, they might get some better treatments because, you know, the referees or the league in general doesn't want the bad negativity, bad PR that happens if you do something wrong to these guys, but apparently it doesn't even matter, right? So yeah, Zellsis is understandably very frustrated and very animated as a result of this stuff. He also is going now by Send Bundle. Apparently he even asked Riot whether he could change his name, his gamer tag to Bundle, but they basically said no, we can't do it, sorry guys. So he has to stay as Zellsis, although he does have Bundle on the back of his shirt, which is, this is just like his legacy at this point. It is pretty spectacular. They do, though, win the series 2-0. And lots to say on this, really, because 100T, they've been showing some good promise, of course, in their practice. That is the understanding that teams think they're somewhat underrated. At least some teams do. Some teams think they're overrated. Maybe they are. But some teams thought they were underrated, as we saw yesterday. The feeling is that they've been doing well in their practice, and they seem to have, you know, be a competent team. The issue always is with 100T, when they actually get to a series that matters, like a big series, do they deliver at the same level? I'm not so sure they always do. And Sentinels, they haven't practiced with Gen.G at all. They just straight dove into the series straight away with Gen.G, and they won the series reasonably comfortably. Cryo, though, did look good, and that is good to see, because a comfortable-looking Cryo cells, that is the key to these guys. But Boostio, he had a shocker, right? And this is why Ethan was roasting him in the replies, because this is what Boostio said to Ethan the other day when they won their series against Loud, whereas this time Boostio drops 10 frags over 2 maps, 6 game 1, and then 4 on the Gecko here on the split. And interesting that Split, like, Gecko is used quite a lot, but not really used on the split so much. And also just challenging or allowing them to play split is always an interesting decision, because we know that Sen are great at it. I don't think Sen necessarily do anything incredibly, you know, dynamic on this map in terms of the way they approach things. But they're just so good at retaking, I think especially is where Sentinels really shine. And we see that as they just pretty much dominate the defensive side to win this game 13-6. You can't afford to lose like 7 rounds to Sentinels on your defense, because they are going to retake a fair few bomb sites. And that's what happens here. So yeah, 100T, despite all the discussions on these guys looking good, they fly in, and we saw what happened with Loud. Those guys arrived last minute, visa problems, no practice, and they got crushed. So Gen.G turns up last minute, drops into the server, no practice since Madrid, and they pretty much just crush 100T to the sideline. So very impressive from Sentinels. Questions on whether 100T are ever going to win this game, because like their record against Sentinels is absolutely shocking generally for the last couple of years, and this is great for Sen, right? Because they didn't even lose this series. I'm sure they felt like, well, no Gen.G is going to get back in a few days. He gets there just in time on that business class flight that Rob Moore decided to pay for, and obviously a good decision as it's turned out. And now they're starting off in a perfect spot, right? So Nature probably not massively happy about it, but again for 100T, they play 4 more games this split. 0-2 versus Sentinels in that series, and we'll just have a quick look here at the way that the Americas is actually stacking up, because in the opposite, in the way to the Pacific, we have this so far, with every team that has played so far in Group Omega being 0-1, and every team that's played so far in Group Alpha being 1-0. So very much interested in your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.